Apparently that song ended a lot quicker, or had a lot more ending than I thought it would. Hey everybody, welcome back to another session of Oninaki. Thank y'all for being patient while I canceled last session, and well, we're back with today's session. A little bit late too, but you know, that's just how things sometimes be. But we're all good, we're back, everything is a-okay in the life of Goldie. I hope everyone has been well. I don't know why CPU cores are showing, but hey. Go. Go. Come on. There we go. Yeah. That's what we want. So last time we finished up the game, unintentionally. And we kind of talked about the ending. And I made the option to kill myself. But there was, of course, the other option of staying alive. And I could probably link the endings on YouTube, probably. But overall, really what it is Kagachi just kind of stays away from humanity after that, and he watches over them. Just to make sure that, like, you know, things are generally okay and stuff like that. And I guess essentially make it so that when he is actually born, I guess, that everything will be like a-okay in a way. Hey, Mary, I can get some levels. Let's do that. I like that idea. Because, like, he's still gonna be born, because, like, he's not gonna be, it's not gonna be that long until he's, like, actually born. Given how old Kushi was and stuff like that, it's like, Mayura is still gonna be born in this new timeline. Kagachi is still going to be born in this new time. Where is my freaking thing? Chimera? Yes, upgrade. Thank you. Funny, I don't have a lot of these anymore. And so his whole thing is, you know, I got to make sure that, you know, things are okay and whatnot for the future. Okay, does that matter? Which generally makes sense. Gambler's at 86. Chevalier's at 86. Wow, you have a long way to go. I don't know if I have enough weapons to fully upgrade you, but I will try my best. But that would be very nice to get you completely upgraded. Maybe I do. I don't know. Tries I'm not really going to use, so I can just spend most of his weapons just trying to do stuff. I don't know if I'm going to really work on some of the other demons. I'm probably just going to work on the 3 that I have and then some. So I mean, we'll see kind of where things go. Even Luchika, I don't know if we're going to really work on her or something. But we still have a couple of side quests to do. We have to get a good shield, and we have to get a good spear. So we still have some work to do. Where's Izana's weapon? Izana Lilim. Oh boy. Okay. But I know today I said for the next session, we're going to be working on like the extra dungeon and we're going to be talking about the review of the game, or my review of the game at least. So I will do that once we finish off here. Bastion. Yeah, probably not going to get all the way with you. I will get as much as I can. I think we'll just leave it there. Oh my goodness, I have so much stuff. Is there something I can maybe add? Like crit chance, do I have like crit chance plus plus or something? No. Do I have skill attack plus plus? I paralyze plus plus. Paralyze resistance, that's helpful. Vitality buff chance, divinity, manifest defense. Poison resistance, stun resistance plus plus debuff, okay. Oh boy. G! G! I got G back! Where's Aisha's thing? Jilted Bloom, basic attack. Skill attack, critical. Ah, that's all so good. I can give it to Izana. Where's Lilim? Yeah. Exchase's Bloom, increased buff duration, grants slight chance to nullify an attack. Makes you harder stun. I might put G on you. G. Alright. Yeah, so we have a couple of lost souls we need to work on. We have the Inquisitive Man who wants a shield, and we have the Warrior in Training who wants a special spear, both of which are in the final dungeon. And there's that one guy with the transport, but he's also in the final dungeon as well. Alright, I think we're good. Probably. So, before we can talk about the review, I learned, just looking through Oninaki stuff and whatnot, I looked through the subreddit that hasn't had a post in a bit of a while. And I learned that the extra dungeon is 101 floors. The Sanctuary Worth allows you to battle Fallen you previously encountered. The Sanctum is divided into levels, each requiring a different number of Fallen to be defeated before you can advance to the next. Waystones appear on certain levels. Right. So... well... that's it! It fits the description exactly! It looks just like a big chunk of metal to me, but they say it holds great power. You might be the type who can harness that power. I'll be going now. Thank you for lending a hand. Yeah, and so not only is the thing 101 floors, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all of it in one go. What is it? Yeah. Alright. But there's another demon. The 11th demon. Or 12th, is it? Jax. It's like a giant monster. The soul of the demon Jax resonates with Kagachi, becoming his guardian. I don't even. A machine who wanders myriad worlds. Jax has borne witness to countless beginnings and endings. Its experiences accumulates become memory and inform each successive action it takes. Jax can use the skills of other demons. In total, it can use 8 different types of skills, shifting seamlessly between them in battle. It can spend infinity to unleash special attacks. So, if I were to just quickly put you on for a second, party, take away Aisha for a second, go all the way over to Jax, Damascus. And we look at your skill tree. Oh, it's a biggie boy. You can equip and use Aisha skills. You can equip and use Izana skills. Applies all of Aisha's skills and weapon effects that trigger out all. So basically, it's just a pure on. You can do stuff with everything. Skills. How do you switch between the two? You have 2 rows? Dang. Oh, B is skill shift. He's just a straight up nuke. Oh, so you switch between the two, and then you just have straight up nuke. I'm sure there's something good in there, but I probably will not be looking to do that. Probably not. Alright, let's head on in and see what's up. Idol of the Gods. Level 1. So do I gotta once again do double mapping? Oh joy. And of course you are not weak. You guys have some power on you. I don't know how many I'll do. Maybe we'll split this into 2 sessions. I mean, if I can get like 50 done today, then we'll, you know, we'll do 50 today. We'll do like 50 tomorrow, but we'll see how many floors we have after a couple of hours. Nice job, Rion. Okay, so how's the map work? Hey, Prophet Brandy, what's up? Alright, let's review the game while I get my little took-a-speed beat by this weird monster. Probably not the right demon to be using to fight it. It's actually Dia who's a better fight. So normally the way I like to do reviews is I like to talk about things in a kind of a weird order. I like to talk about graphics and music first, and then I like to talk about gameplay, and I like to talk about stories and characters last. Just because I feel like that order is like easy in a way to talk about. It builds up because there's only so much you can really say about certain things, and so I think it's easy for me to talk about that sort of stuff first, and then we talk about story, characters, and gameplay last, where a bulk of the conversation will be, and we're probably going to flip back and forth between positives and negatives. So graphically, this game, no doubt, is a very beautiful game. I think Tokyo RPG did a really good job here. I imagine this game looks just fine on the Switch, but on PC, you know, with what we have, I think it is a genuinely looking great game. I've loved the graphics in this quite a lot. I think all the areas themselves are unique in their own right. I think, you know, like UI in this game, and the skill tree, and the art design, character design, really good. Genuinely some of the best, I would say. Let me move myself up just a tiny bit. There we go. And then I'll move you guys up a little too. There we go. I genuinely find the art in this game to be really good. I never found situations where visibility was an issue. The information I needed was always there for me, and it was always presented to me in a way that I, the player, knew what was going on. Like, I knew when an enemy would attack, I knew if I was poisoned, like what was going on. In both the normal realm and the light realm, or the light realm and the dark realm, I knew what was going on as the player, and that's really good. That's what you want in action RPGs. You don't want visibility to be the reason why things don't go well for you in an RPG. One shot. I like that each demon kind of has their color. They kind of have their own auras. The UI was responsive. The information that you need is there. You know, it's not too overcrowded either. So there's really nothing bad to say about the UI in this game. Yeah, could areas have looked a little bit better? Maybe. But I think if there's a charm to it. I think there is that kind of, you know, older style charm where there's not a whole lot going on, and that's just okay. Yeah, I don't think we need, you know, Unreal Engine 4 here. I think Unity worked just out fine. I think what they had here is pretty good. I'm trying to think if there's anything really negative I could say about the graphics in this game. Not really, you know. I think the areas, you know, there probably could have been a little bit more variety again, and a little bit more effort put into some of these areas, but I don't think they did a bad job with it. There was that one area that we went to before when we had to do Gale's, finding out, you know, where Gale was to track him down, because he was a murderer and stuff like that. I thought that dungeon was a little bit too much. I really did not think it was a fun dungeon. But past that, I think when they did the corridors and the way they did, you know, this areas and stuff like that, mountainy, foresty areas and indoor areas, it works out. It works out, and that'll come into that ties in tandem, I think, with the gameplay too. As well. I hate you. Even the enemy design, I mean, they started repeating stuff after a while just to, like, you know, show stuff being stronger, but, you know, there's still some pretty good enemy design in this game, too. The little penguins running around, these scorpions that fire stuff, the flowers that do stuff, those big annoying things, you know, generally I think they did the otherworldly ones, which are just, you know, annoying, but they're, like, really strong, too. I think there's good in there. Da-da-dum. I think you guys are all on 3s, aren't you? The skill UI in this game is just amazing. I cannot say anything bad about it. The only thing I really kind of wish was that I wish they were more like Aisha's, where they didn't just go in circles so often. I think that would have been nice. Because Aisha's the only one that has a full, like, it goes from top to bottom. And that's it. But everyone else has a circle UI. Would have just made things a little bit easier to read, I would say. If we had the ability to... No. But, I mean, it's a skill UI. It doesn't really make that much of a difference at the end of the day. The way forward opens. Nice. I probably won't spend that much time then trying to map out each floor. I imagine these are like really big floors. So might as well just go straight forward. But I think we killed a couple hundred enemies there, so it takes a while to do these. Alright, enough about the graphics. I liked them. They're really good. There wasn't really anything that I disliked about the graphics. Music! Oh boy. Oh boy. I think there is an area of music when it comes to video games that I genuinely believe that maybe I'm a bit spoiled. Falcom and Square Enix making it so that each area and each battle have unique themes that kind of stick with you and kind of let you know where you're where you're at and stuff like that. Even if they're reused. area themes have songs. Boss themes have songs. And something I actually kind of want to do for this session is turn off the music. Not because it's bad, but because I kind of want to play other music too. Oh boy, where's the thingy? Okay. What's hi-fi? No, I don't know about that. What's ambient going on for it? Probably should have done this before, but whatever. It doesn't really work either. Oh, hang on. Trying to think what works here. There we go, that'll work. Can never go wrong with East. There is a place for atmospheric music, I find. God, I hope this mixing is okay. I might make the game a bit louder then. And it's something I've complained about with Tales music as well, right? It plays more to the atmosphere than it does to memorableness, which is something that I think people do enjoy. I just feel like one part of it, because I'm spoiled, is very difficult for me to jive with that. Oh, no, we're stunned. Is that not a stone? Oh, okay. That's what I mean. Like it's interesting because I think the OST with what's given to us in Oninaki is actually really good, but it's just not played enough. I use this example so often, and I recommend that if you can, go check it out, because it does this exact thing. The Hobbit, which was on GameCube, PlayStation, I think Xbox as well. It did this exact thing where generally it didn't really play music, it just kind of played music whenever it needed to. So when you started an area, every few minutes or so, you would hear the music, or, you know, battles would always have music. Special battles especially, you know, like boss battles or, you know, hard encounters and stuff like that. And beyond that, it was really just emptiness, so that you really just got into the immersion of the fact that, yeah, you're Bilbo Baggins running around and stuff like that. That's what Oninaki here does too. It consistently has noises from the slashing, from the enemies, from the environment and everything. And then every now and then I'll toss a song in there. Like in Dedo, right? You just randomly hear the Dedo battle, you just hear Dedo. Or when we were in the first pillar inside the weird pyramid, right? Like we saw there was stuff happening there too. And it's like, yeah, there's some good stuff in there. The final boss theme was really good. Some of the dungeon themes themselves were actually really good. We just don't get to hear them often, and it's weird, because I can't call the music bad in this game. But I also don't feel like it's fair to say that, oh, I wish I heard more of it, because that's not really what the game's intention was. You know, it's not like East, and it's not like Trails, and it's not like Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts, where something is always going on with the music. I think they probably could have made the music appear more often. At least like twice as much. Or when you play a song, you know, maybe keep it on for a little bit too. That would have been nice as well. I would have loved that. You know, keep it on for twice as long or something, instead of just like 35-40 seconds. Wrong button. Yuline? So that's really all I can say about the music, because it just didn't appear a whole lot. That being said, I listened to it on YouTube, and I think there's some really good tracks. There's some really good atmospheric tracks, actually. There's some really good battle themes. There's some really good character themes, and I think when they did play some of the sad stuff, or when they really started kicking in some of the stuff near the end with the music, I was genuinely impressed. I was like, yeah, this is really good. But we just don't get it all the time, and that's why I think it just hurts me the most about atmospheric music, is that it changes the experience. For me, I enjoy my experiences where music is playing more constantly, so I can jam with it, kind of like how we have right now with Falcon playing in the background. I'm also going to take an audio check real quick just to make sure that we're all good. So, versus with atmospheric, it's really just trying to put you in the seat as much as possible. think I could probably raise the music up just a tiny bit. Oh god, this is so bad. Whoop. I should have done this beforehand. But that's okay. Also, it sounds like I'm so out of energy is because I ran on a longer run today, and so I'm pretty exhausted from that. But I definitely wanted to stream. I wanted to enjoy our Oninaki a bit before we say goodbye to it. If we say goodbye to it even. I don't even know if we're going to say goodbye to it. So somewhere along the way, we're supposed to get the weapon that we need? I guess. I don't know. I just gotta look out for, you know, high-level spears and shields. The red ones. So I think experience-wise, you know, the music doesn't do anything bad. I just think maybe it could have added a little bit more if the songs lasted for a little bit longer, or maybe we heard them a bit more often. That's it, really. Alright, now we can talk about the gameplay of this game. Something that I was very hesitant about when I originally played the demo back on the Switch. And after coming now, yay far, 12 parts in, 24 some hours, 30-ish hours, let's just say, for example. It's good. It's pretty good. It's something I noticed when I was reading just reviews and some subreddit stuff, is that I think people are genuinely surprised by how much the gameplay works in this game. And I have to agree with that. I was very hesitant with the way they did gameplay back when the demo started, because I didn't know if the, you know, if the world switching was really going to work as well as they thought it would. I didn't think the demons were going to work in that much of a favor either, because when you initially see that skill tree, it's like, oh holy god, I have to do so much grinding for all these demons to actually be pretty good. And you kind of do. Like, Rigon is now slaying because we've leveled them up quite a bit. Aisha is just a menace because we've maxed her out. Dia, once she got some of her skills, she also just became a pretty big menace. Izana, right? Gavod came with a pretty good skill. Oh. But, and I think what I really enjoyed about this the most in terms of the gameplay is the switching. The switching on command, especially once you have their skills up to switch faster, is genuinely nice. It's something that I actually really appreciate, and it's something I've had ideas for making my own, you know, writing out a JRPG of my own. And this concept is something that I did consider before even realizing Oninaki did it. That you just have a bunch of different weapons, and it works so well. You want sword? You get Aisha. You want gun? You get Dia. You want scythe? You get Izana. You want twin blade? You get Rigon. And when you have that flow in play, like how we're doing right now, it works very well. It genuinely works really well, I will say. It's not as fast as Ys. I don't think anything will be as fast as Ys comparatively. And I'm not throwing Bayonetta or Devil May Cry in there because their styles are very much not this. And they're not gonna be. There's not the idea of comboing in this game. It is more like Ys, where it's just trying to be a fluid action RPG. So it's not as fast as Ys, nor Kingdom Hearts, but what it does have is actually quite enjoyable once you really get down and dirty with it. And everybody's playstyles are going to be different. Maybe you'll pick Zoth. Maybe you'll pick Luchika. Maybe you'll pick Will. Maybe you'll pick, who do we get? Jex? Yeah, maybe you'll pick Jex. Hey, Zephyr, how's it going? How goes your summer internship thingy-majiggy? And so, the gameplay loop itself, I think, is pretty fun. It's not something that really gets boring, I would say. I think there are some instances where maybe it gets a little bit boring, and maybe that's something you guys may have seen while watching. That you're just really running through dungeons, you're beating up a bunch of enemies, and then you're kind of moving on and stuff. There's really not a whole lot that happens in between. Like, we had some puzzles, but like, that's it? Pretty good, just having missed the last few streams? No worries. You know, then you warp between light and dark, and you beat up some enemies, and then you rinse, repeat, continue, get some stones, and level up your, level up your demons. And I think there is a case to be said where that may not be satisfying for some people, but in a weird way, I think rather than being like high octane, high energy, I would rather say Oninaki is a like zoning game where you just kind of zone out, enjoy the dungeons, beating up these creatures, leveling up your demons, and going along with what's going on. I think it genuinely does a pretty good job of that. There's not a whole lot of negative that can be said in that regard. That you can use this game kind of as kind of a zone out game. And I think on both Steam Deck and Switch, it would work out if you were to go for a more mobile aspect. It definitely, I think, works with that in mind. I think that part of it is that there is satisfaction to be earned. Maybe not so much through the combat, as much as, say, East Kingdom Hearts or other action RPGs. Oh no, the way forward is all the way back there? Should have gone straight. Oh, like that's not too far. Okay. But if you work towards getting the skill tree done, it works out, I would say. It does work out. I think the bosses, too, in this game were very good. There weren't that many that were just like, yeah, that was a pretty BS boss fight. And we had a few, even on normal, we had a few scuffy bosses, as with every game definitely is going to have. But I found the humanoid bosses to be really enjoyable. I found the big boy bosses to be bulky sponges sometimes, but they were fun to learn. They were genuinely fun to learn, I'll admit. And I think that's something really good to be said about this game, is that the boss design and bosses were good. I probably, if I were to play this game again, would probably go on hard mode, because I think sometimes we kill the boss way too quickly because we just had strong demons. I hear there's a Maniac mode too that might be like super duper difficult or something like that. So there might be something to try out there too for players who are looking for a higher challenge. But the game itself was never really that easy either. I mean, when we stopped using Aisha after maxing her out, we all saw like, oh my god. Yeah, this game is a bit tricky once you really get to it. You know, the debuffs I think are well placed, the buffs are well placed. It's not like, you know, if you get stunned, it is of your own accord that you got stunned. And if you die because you got stunned, you shouldn't get stunned. And they have ways to make it so that that doesn't happen as much, which is the Shade Stones. Speaking of, let's talk about Shade Stones and weapons for a second. I like that they did go in the direction of weapon rarities. Albeit it took me way too long to realize that those kind of existed. And I might have paid attention more had I known ahead of time. But I do enjoy the fact that they did have some variety with the weapons, both in terms of looks and their uses. You basically, the higher rarity you get, you know, they're stronger. They can be upgraded higher based on your level and progress in the game. Shade Stones, you can have up to 4 slots, and that can drastically change the way a weapon works, and I think that's pretty cool. It's nothing super complex. That's something I think we all know, is that the weapon system and weapons in this game are nothing complicated. There isn't some like super complicated skill tree system that takes multiple playthroughs to understand, like Zesteria. There isn't. It's, you know, there is something of depth to be put here, and I feel like I barely scratched the surface of the Shade Stones. You know, I'm sure there's better ways to use them based on certain characters and stuff like that. And that's something that would take multiple playthroughs if you're interested in actually trying out. Probably not going to be for me, but I think from generally what I've seen is that some viewers have decided that they do want to play this game after seeing me play it and talking good about the combat and stuff like that, which is good to hear. I'm really happy that maybe I might have given Tokyo RPG some new fans. I do think the Shade Stones were quite nice as an addition to make weapons more unique. For sure. You know, they definitely added, and they're noticeably added. It's not like you can't notice that sort of thing. Like, once you put G on a weapon, you know you're having G on a weapon type of situation. Once you start putting resistances on, you know you have a resistance on. And I like that you always have healing items and they're limited, you know, and you know, you're in a situation where you do genuinely need to use healing incenses. Of course, when you have a demon as powerful as Aisha or Izana, you don't really need them because of the whole healing thing, but when you have enemies like this Punch Boy here, you probably will need a healing incense. Or Line could just use one for you. That works too. And it's good because the healing incense heals you, nice, no problem. You know, there's a slight delay so you don't spam them, but you don't really need to spam them because they do heal quite a lot, especially with skills. You don't really need to do a whole lot with healing, and I like that. It's really quick and simple, and that's really what it just needs to be. And I like the fact that it's on a hotkey. That's really nice. That it's on a hotkey, it's very readily available. We had a period of time where they didn't really drop, I would say, in the middle of the game, which was kind of annoying, but it, in a weird way, evened itself out by endgame. I'm not sure how, but it did. The way forward opens. It's the other way. Again. Alright. It's interesting that they're just reusing dungeon maps for this little thing. They didn't make anything new. Not that I expected them to, I would say. You don't really need to reinvent things if you don't need to reinvent them. What else do I need to talk about gameplay? Ah, yes, the manifestation gauge. Definitely a get out of jail free card, the manifestation. You know, if you want to just really do some hard damage, manifest stuff and you're good. Hello. You know, you don't really need to put a lot of thought into it. I think the affinity gauge is cool, that there's skills tied to it where it's like, hey, if you have affinity over 150, you can get some bonuses. So it's not like, so you can have some incentive to keeping your manifestation gauge. But if you use it, like Izana, you can get some stuff back for using it. You can get some good skills and damage out of it for using it. And there's really no penalty to not using it, and there's no penalty to using it. It's just straight good. The one thing that I do feel, and I think this is because I come from an East background, is that the way movement and tech generally works when you're in manifestation personally would have been great if that was the norm and manifestation made you even faster than that. But hey, you know what? By the end of it, I think it's okay, actually. I think the general gameplay speed is just okay. You know, it doesn't need to be anything faster given the way that they're going for this. As I said, it feels like a much more relaxed East and, you know, MOBA-like and whatever you want to call it. Also, unlocking demon lore as you go through the skill tree is really nice. But if I had to go through some negatives of the gameplay, just in general, I would say it's very obvious that some demons are objectively better than others. Will is not great. Tries, I'm sure, could be great, but he's just not great. Luchika starts out cool, but you're not going to use her. You're probably not going to use her. I think there was a good idea with the stones and the things that come out of it, but it's not going to happen. Jax, I mean, again, nice gimmick, but you really would have to have everybody pretty much taken care of, and you'd have to actively go through and try that out, which some people you probably would. You know, you're probably going to spend more time than I would. You know, if I wasn't streaming this, maybe I would actually put in the time to check out all these demons, max them out, and check out and see kind of what works and what doesn't work. But because I'm streaming this, and we don't have all the time in the world, we definitely are going to show kind of whatever we can. Oh yeah, Zephyr. Again, gimmick. Doesn't really work out as well as you think it does. Gavin, I feel like, works out better than a lot of these other ones. And that one definitely, I think, is a bit of a pain, I would say. There are just some enemies I feel like are just not that great. These punch guys are annoying. You know, those beans that killed me in, you know, in one instant that one time are not great. And part of it is just because personal badness. But I think sometimes they do overstay their welcome. And as I said, a couple of dungeons don't click. But generally they do, but sometimes they don't click. And there's a couple of bosses that we faced, like that one wall when we were on our way with Sarah to... Oh, where was it? The first pillar that was just not great. And I think just generally, it kind of feels like the Alliance Alive sometimes, where initially I think it starts out a bit too slow, but once you get Dia, by then I feel like the hook has been placed for the gameplay loop. But the initial parts of it, I feel like are very difficult for a player to get into. And so one thing I probably would recommend to viewers is if you're going to pick this up, pick up the demo, give it a shot. Give both the demo and one of the extra dungeons that they give you a shot. So you kind of see that, like, okay, I'm going to start out this slow, but if I keep with it, I can get some stuff like this or stuff like that I've seen on Goldie streams and stuff like that. That's what I would recommend. Wow. I think I've exhaustively talked about the gameplay in both positives and negatives. It's a chill gameplay experience, I would say, to keep things, to bring it all full circle. It's not perfect, and it's not fast that most modern action RPGs try to be. Is that necessarily a bad thing? I don't know. I think that really depends on the person playing. Oh! Maybe you want something a bit faster and you would go check out Kingdom Hearts or Ys. Maybe you want something that you can just turn your brain off to and enjoy in terms of a gameplay loop. That's probably Oninaki. Maybe you enjoy trying out all these different demons and, filling out their skill trees and that sense of completion. This is the game then. This is that game then, for sure. Characters and story. Characters and story. A thing where I'm probably going to go on the most about. The story of this game did surprise me in more ways than one for how much I really got into it. And I will preface once again that it's nothing groundbreaking. It's, it's the same with Custom Robo for the GameCube. For the story that we're given, it's quite good. For the story that we're seeing in Custom Robo Arena, it's quite good. Is it Kiseki's, Trails of in the Sky, Trails from Zero, Ys 8, Ys 9? Probably not. Is it Final Fantasy 7 with some crazy weird stuff that happens that, you need so many games to talk about? Not really. But are there good ideas in place and something that starts, has a middle, and has an end? Yes. Is it an enjoyable start, middle, end? Yes. Is it the strongest suit of this game? Maybe not. I was very worried for Kagachi in the beginning of this game, and the demo really doesn't do a good job of letting you know how Kagachi is going to be. It's pretty obvious that he's going to develop. That much is true. It's not like he's not going to develop. I think most players who have played the JRPGs before would be able to realize that Kagachi is going to go through growth. He's not going to be a stuck-up asshole the entire time. I just didn't think it'd be that great, honestly. Kagachi's growth, pretty darn good. Not gonna lie. Man doesn't really sugarcoat things. He's just straight and to the point. Ah. You know, like once Mayura died, you saw a completely different side of Kagachi, which is quite amazing. When he became the Night Devil, we saw again more facets of Kagachi. And once he, started bonding with Sarah, we saw more facets of Kagachi, and we saw more facets of Kagachi by the end. And dude knew how and when to take a joke, but he also knew when to stay serious too, and that was something that was quite nice to see, admittedly so. Especially in a society where you're told you cannot grieve from the dead, and I think they set up Kagachi's character quite well. His second mission, when he goes to the town, and there's that kid who's like, oh, I only, killed myself because of that one old man. He said we would all go together, blah, 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 and we haven't seen him and whatnot. And Kagachi, calls him out, he's on trial and stuff like that. And I was like, and it's like, yeah, you know what? He's justifiable in his assholeness here. Then he did the whole thing with Mayura, or when Line starts, and he's just kind of, is very kind of mean and apathetic towards Line. But then he kind of grows on her and just teases her like he would a little sister. Lo and behold, we know why, but Then even the side characters were cool too. Like Kushi was pretty great, especially when we saw him in the past. I loved Kushi in the past. Mayura was an amazing side character for being a childhood friend, and it's unfortunate that she had, they had to use her in the way they did as a stepping stone for Kagachi, but at the same time, shit happens. Shit happens. Sometimes you have to be a stepping stone. Kujo, I thought a lot more was going to happen with her, but she ended up just also being the way she was. In terms of, I straight up thought when she died, she was going to confess to Kagachi. 100%. I legitimately thought she was going to confess. She's like, I always loved you type of thing, but she didn't. It was implied, but I legit thought she was going to do it. Oh yes, speaking of Kagachi too, like when my man's comforted Mayura and just didn't even say anything cringy or just he didn't say anything. He just said the right words, like couple words there. He said nothing too, and just was like, yep, I know. And that was it. I'm like, my man, that's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. And it was great. Because he had to feel bad too. Like his childhood friend, the one person who actually got along with him, just straight up died. That hurts. And you're not allowed to grieve, which is the most annoying thing probably in this world, is you're not allowed to do that. Lady Lobelia was pretty neat. Leo, dude is just stuck up. It's pretty funny when he became a lost soul and we had to kind of take him back to his mom. I've seen a lot of discourse talking about Sarah, though, and what people generally think of her, because some people, I think, find that, makes sense that she was the big bad. It makes sense, and it was kind of predictable that she was the big bad, especially once you get to that first pillar and you're looking at the murals. It's like, oh yeah, it's definitely her. I don't think I had it's an oh yeah, it's her situation, but I'm like, well, if it's not Lady Lobelia and Sarah's the only one who supposedly knows all this stuff, well then who could be the big bad? Because it's probably not the Oni. Little did we know the Oni priestess was Sarah, so I think they did her character really interesting. You start out in the first act here with Line, not knowing kind of who she was. And you're like, huh, I wonder who this child is and stuff like that. And then you find out, it's like, oh, wow, that's like really impressive. That's a really impressive thing. And then you start hanging out with Sarah, and it's like, yeah, you learn about Soju and Sarah, and how Soju was actually the original, and the Night Devil came from Soju, and Kagachi also came from Soju. Something that kind of got skipped on a little bit near the end there, but something went wrong there. But I mean, overall, there's not. Why am I getting bad weapons? They're just making me redo dungeons. Is that why I'm getting bad weapons? But at the same time, I'm not with the plot. I'm not jaw dropping. I enjoyed what they did, but I'm not jaw dropping. Although the middle when Kagachi murked himself and went back in time was actually pretty good. That got me. And generally, I think what really got me the most about this plot, this is just because I personally like talking and learning about this sort of stuff, is the concept of people's feelings and emotions, the concept of reincarnation and death and how they treated it here and whatnot. I think it is dark. It's a dark plot. It's not an edgy dark plot, and it's not a dark plot that just goes above and beyond with the concept of death and reincarnation. It does, however, I think, provide a good medium for discourse on those subjects. And just a way of storytelling, too, that, like, yeah, you can't have perfection in worlds, and you can't do this sort of thing, and that the Oni is the reason why, people have to... The world has to end and stuff like that. And we took care of the Oni. But that doesn't mean that humanity is now magically safe. It's just something they need to do a better job of dealing with, is their own emotions in life and stuff like that. And that's why there's good ending 2, I would say, where Kagachi becomes a watcher. Good ending 1 is just Kagachi says, you know what, I'm not supposed to be here. And so I'm just gonna leave. Because the humans can now figure it out. My future self will figure it out. I have still not found the good shield yet. Or if he stays, then he's like, no, not yet. I can't leave yet. I need to be the true watcher of humanity and make sure that this sort of Oni thing doesn't happen again. I think both ways work out very well, comparatively speaking. I personally would think that, if you're not supposed to be there, you're not supposed to be there. That's just the end of that. But the watcher ending was pretty good, too. Gonna turn off the music at least.
ほんの気まぐれ、反抗期、若気の至り。きっかけはその程度のことだった。しかし、指示にない殺しをやったことで、兄弟たちの命を危険にさらした。結果、俺は親父に殺されかけた。睨みつける俺を、親父は言葉もなく抱きしめた。俺はなぜだかわからず泣いた。その時俺は思った。ああ。この人が俺の親父でよかった。と。俺は、ここにいるのだと。
It's cute. That's really cute.
今のうちに準備しよう。
This whole thing is 101 floors? God damn.
次はどこに行くの？
I assume it'll let me now warp out of here if I want to. Yeah, level 5. Okay. Oh! Well, it's a good thing I saved. Remember this boss? This was the first boss. Oh god. Yep. You don't want to get too... You want to make sure you're in the right spot for this. I'm glad To the End of Battle is playing here. Good lord. Yeah. Kenkai Koinu. What's that even mean, I wonder? Chevalier Affinity. I already have that. So generally, I think the plot's pretty good. And character-wise, I think it's pretty... Oh, this is the dungeon I really hate. We'll probably go pretty fast with this one now that we're much more powerful. Sun Myonin. Alright. One thing I also want to talk about too for a little bit is the demons. I really like the fact that each demon has their own thing. Yeah, it's a little bit of work to get their lore. But I like that each demon has their own personality. We don't get to see it a lot, and I think it would be interesting if the demons had more dialogue outside of their lore and the conversations you can have with them at the pillars. So I think that's something I would have really liked, is if the demons actually talked a bit more, especially like if you... But it would be kind of difficult to do. But maybe like if they just pre-did that, where like a demon would talk out when you're in the middle of something, or like gave you suggestions or something like that. You know, I think there might have been something more that you could have been attached to with them. But the fact that there's the lore and stuff like that, and you can converse with them and everything, it is genuinely really nice. It is one of the nicer things about this game, is that you always have somebody following you that you can converse with them and whatnot. and they have their own stories, and their art is amazing, their skills are amazing, and they all have their own thing and their own places where they came from. And like Mayura had her own, like we got Aisha as ours, Gavad was Kushi's, and Izana was Mayura's and whatnot.
壊れないから。隔離用では壊れないから。
You are powerful.
傷は癒えたはずだ。
力を貸そう。安らかに物理法則。
Ow!
ここに物理法則がおかしいの。隔離用では壊れないから。
What else do I have to say? Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't, like, it may sound like I have a bunch of negative, I don't really have a lot of negatives to say about this game, but I also don't have a lot of positives to say about either, if that kind of makes sense. I'm saying what I like about it, but I'm also kind of saying what I don't like. There's not a lot that I hated.
世界を変えるか。
世界の変化を見落とさぬように。
At the end of the day, I think I will say I was really glad that I played this game for the stream and for the channel. I think it probably is a bit underrated, actually speaking, and I saw that kind of being spread around as well in some places. Is it a 10 out of 10 game though? No. It is not. It is 6, 7, at most 7 out of 10 at best. And that's okay. Not every game needs to be a 10 out of 10. I think if you genuinely just have some time in your backlog, or you just want to have a game in between your 10s, this actually would make for a pretty fun game. I don't really know how well it does on Switch. It probably looks and performs just fine. If you can get it on Steam and Steam Deck, probably the better option. And play it in small chunks, and I think you're gonna have a good time. I don't think you're gonna hate the time that you spend in this. It might not be the most fulfilling game, but I think that's just kind of, it just really goes back to the question of kind of like, what do you want out of the game? I wanted story, because I had at least heard that this was a pretty unique story. But also I was very curious about the gameplay too, and wanted to give it a chance after my apprehension after the demo in 2019. And I think what I got out of it was a genuinely pretty chill game for me to play. Some great content for the channel, some great discourse about life, death, reincarnation, and human psychology and sociology. Dude bomb-ass art, and dude was awesome protagonist. You know, it's not really a whole lot I could say about it. And so that, I think, probably where I'm going to end the formal review. Formal. That's the most informal, choppy review I think possible, in the most casual sense, but I don't think I really would have said much more if I had scripted the whole thing and put it on YouTube. So I will open up the floor for chat questions, or YouTube comment questions, or Twitter DM questions. If you have any questions about the game or something you may want to know about this from my perspective that maybe I didn't talk about, I'd be happy to answer them. But we're already an hour and 16 in, and we're only on floor 6. Huh. I don't know. I'm wondering. Do I go through the whole thing, or do I just cut it off? I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do. I don't think there's anything extra you get for beating it. Well, I should probably check that actually before I start saying stuff. The map for each non-boss floor is chosen randomly from locations visited during the main story. Precepts are the same as the original maps, but no exact story. Okay, yep. "100 is also not the maximum level. Apparently there are enemies on the higher floors that are like 100 and 409. Do you get anything for it? Oh, you get to fight a couple of new bosses at the end? Oh, man. I had over 150 sword stones left for Aisha. Holy crap. Oh, I guess it's on PS4 too. Did not know that. Okay, you don't get anything for beating. You don't. It's not worth it. Okay. Okay, so I mean, we'll just keep going with it. I'm probably not gonna even really worry about the other Lost Souls too. I'm just gonna continue going for another hour or so, and we can talk about other things. So I have chosen the game that's gonna be the next project on the channel. Project, I say. It is another indie RPG, and I'm quite excited about it because I've heard really good things about it in terms of its plot, in terms of its gameplay and stuff like that. It's really good from what I've heard. So I'm excited to start that up next time. Speaking of projects, Liquid and I are also working on bringing Fallout to the table. So probably after the next RPG, if things go well, I can at least for now confirm that Fallout 2 will be coming to streams. So that'll be super exciting. The adventures of Phanius continue once again. I will probably be keeping my schedule still the same. No changes to that. It's going to be Mondays, Thursdays. Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for live streams, and then the occasional video, like for Left 4 Dead and stuff like that. There's still a few videos left to go on that one. We still have to do the final level in the game. We still have to redo the Dark Carnival session because of you guys voted you want to see that one again. And who am I to say no to that? And we have to do the first level of Left 4 Dead because we did it, we just didn't record it. So we didn't think we were recording at the time.
まだ動けるだろ。
力になりましょう。
After that, there's a couple of ideas we have for what to do with Left 4 Dead, and then we also want these enemies. Oh! And there are talks of bringing Back 4 Blood to the channel and giving that a fair look at from the 3 MacGuffins that are Liquid, Guavs, and I, and maybe Turbo too. Turbo may not be joining us for those, depending on his availability. I might put up another poll about those, so keep an eye on that on the Twitter side of things. And yeah, beyond that, I think we're still going to keep content the same way as it is. There's really no changes in regards to what we're streaming and stuff like that. We're still gonna do JRPGs. Fallout 2 will happen, and maybe a couple of other unique games too might show up and stuff like that. I know I said I wanted to bring Tales to the channel this year, which is still a possibility / a desire to do. To bring Tales to the channel. I haven't really decided on which one I want to do yet. Whether I want to go and replay like Symphony or Abyss. I heard Destiny has a fan patch in English that I think would be really cool to play, and we could go a bit retro with it. I have the ability to emulate, so we may be able to emulate Zillia 1, Zillia 2. I think that would be a lot of fun as well. Happy to do a poll on that one as well, just see what general interests are. I'm all for it. I also want to emulate Legendia at some point, because that has also interested me for a while. But if we were to do Tales, then we would kind of do it. We would do it a little bit in Trails fashion, where we would do it a bit in Trails fashion, where I would play a couple of Tales games in a row, back to back. So we kind of have a thing going on the stream for that, or channel straight up just about that. I don't have plans to bring Final Fantasy stuff to the channel anytime soon. I might bring Strangers of Paradise to the channel. I don't know yet. I might be bringing the Pixel remasters, or just generally Final Fantasies 1 through 5 to the channel. Those might be a next year thing, but I also know that once next year rolls around, I'm going to be timing things in such a way that when Nayuta and Hajimari drop, we're going to hop right into those. That'll be our return to Falcom, is through those games. And hopefully, sometime next year, Kuro will be announced, and we can find out when Kuro is coming to the channel. So we'll have Return of Falcom next year to the channel, and I'm already planning on doing Zwei 1, Zwei 2, and Gurumin as well after the Return of Falcom, just to knock those out, because those are also games I've never played, and I would like to play those. And there's a couple of other just RPGs in general that I have that I need to bring to the general channel. So we have content lined up, at least in planning for over a couple of years at least. Now, where life takes us, we shall see. Oh, and speaking of other content too, Finding Paradise will also be recorded and finished this year. That much I can assure too, because they also have made their third game, and I would like to play that.
これで進めるな。
先に進みましょう。
So I will be doing a reading of
これで戦い
Finding Paradise and their third game as well. So I'll look forward to that too. I know those were something that people genuinely enjoyed too, so I'll be bringing that back. With Izana, we're just going down the line, really. There's nothing really much to do. Rank up! And so I definitely still plan and hope to keep giving you guys content for a while. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. The hiatuses might still happen. That's something I definitely want to talk about too, and maybe make an update video on, is that those hiatuses that I have to take sometimes just for vacation, or just for, I'm not feeling that well, or just in general, those will still happen. And there's not really a whole lot I can do about them, just because, again, this whole content thing is my side gig, it's not my main gig. And so, main life, main job, all come first. That being said, I would like to start seeing if I can find games or just create, do stuff like Toho again, where when I know a hiatus is coming up, that maybe I can give you guys some content in the meanwhile. I would love if that could be the case. I don't think Machina the Planetary was a good decision, because that one just lasted way too long for what I thought was supposed to be just like a super small RPG. But that was kind of the intention of Machina, where like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a while because of moving and just other things. And I'm not going to have my PC to stream, so let me record a bunch of stuff beforehand, schedule their uploads, and just go with it. Yeah, that didn't exactly work out too well. So I'm gonna try to find other things to look up. Maybe I can bring back some VNs as well. I think that'll be pretty cool to do. Just do long recording sessions and try to see if I can splice together something. The big thing is I don't want to do a whole lot of editing, really. I just don't have the time for that. I do some editing for the Left 4 Dead videos, but that's really just minor ones and whatnot. I am not going to go out and do something that I need to edit a bunch. I just need to record, splice the audio together, and then, happy path. Angelic Restoration. Recover HP. Oh, great. What game was this from? Oh. East will also one day come to the channel. There, I will bring East to the channel too at some point. That is also a plan. It'll probably be in a few years when I do my grade replay of the series, because I've already caught up, and that was my game that I wanted to keep as kind of like my own. You know, do your own. It's like Tales of Rise, right? It's just my game that I play for myself. But I will bring it to the channel at some point. Hopefully by then, East 10 will come out. It probably will. I have faith that East 10 will probably have come out by then. Not was for when Falcon will announce East 10 at the time of this stream. I don't know. And it worries me that they have not said anything yet. We gotta go this way, because that's a 5, right? Yeah, it's a 5. Alright, let's see what force is. Yes. Instantaneously, yes. No questions asked. Ah. So does that mean 150 is the max in this game for levels? If 109 is still possible? Maybe. Oh, hi. That's not the shield I need. Yes. That skill is great. Well, we know East 10 is going to be on the new engine. It's probably supposed to be some evolution of East 8, 9, and everything before. But I just don't know how they're going to go about it, because, like, 9 was probably the best you could do with the party system, and what really you could just do the most with it. But how do you go from there? You could do something like Oninaki, where everyone has their own weapons, and, you know, you just have, like, switches. But that's essentially what the party system is. It's not like it's anything different. So I wonder. Solo adventure, maybe, please? Dude, you're getting stones like crazy. Bow, 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 bow.
合わせるぞ。
安らかに行け。本物がいる。
This is a Falgana song, right? Yep. This way still has not opened up yet. That's crazy.
あれ
I bet you. Oh, I'm at the end. They'll probably open up after I warp and kill these last few enemies.
行くぞ。
刈り取る。
Or not?
世界を変えるか。
世界の変化を見落とさぬように。魂を刻め。
受けてみろ。
If it's on the other side of this map, I swear to God. It probably is. Oh boy, here we go. Down the mountain we go.
先を感じる。逃げ。前。
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Hi.
変えるか。
世界の特性を頭に入れておけ。
合わせるぞ。
安らかに行け。
Yeah. I think those are all yellows, and I don't need yellows. But hey, that's cool you saw one of those glowing birds again. Man, I remember I used to be so worried, like, oh, those are gonna be so hard enemies, we're never gonna be able to kill them, and then, no, they're just really easy enemies. I think Tokyo RPG has a good future for itself, because this is their third one that Square Enix Tokyo RPG has made. They had I Am Setsuna, they had Lost Sphere, and this is their one that goes full action RPG. And their whole purpose is to really hit that style of old RPGs from the 90s. And they do well at that. But I think if they focus that feeling... It is on the other side of the map. God damn it. I think if they focus that feeling towards making something unique, they do have the ability, I believe, to produce something that is going to be a 10 out of 10 for people. I Am Setsuna, I think, was supposed to be that, but didn't really work out that well, maybe? I don't know much about Lost Sphere, though. Stab. Stab and stabs. I think I have one more 3. Five, 5, 5. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Although we don't know what these are. Those are probably 5s too. Well, let me just spend 2 null stones and take care of that one then. So we need 15? Hey. And we're only on floor 8, so the next one we're gonna get is at floor 10. Alright. That is good to know. Will I max the second demon out? Maybe. I might just finish the second boss then and just end it there. Don't need to do more than we need to, I would say. Like, another climax, another kind of an anticlimactic ending. I did the same with Custom Rubber. I kind of felt like I just left it open because there was just so much post-game stuff I didn't really feel like doing, just because in a stream format, I find that I feel like it's not that conducive to go the full mile. In Trails we did, but it's not like there was that much afterwards. I mean, Reverie Corridor in CS2, like we did what we could, and then we were like, all right, that's it. You know, we beat the boss. I didn't even go back and get the books again. I just went to YouTube for that one. If it was a recording, I would definitely go the extra mile, I would say. I say as I did not do that for Custom Robo Arena, but now I would probably. But yeah, another anticlimactic slash ending to this. But we beat the game last time, so I think we got our closure ending last time. And I gave him a review of the game, so there's not really much more I can say. All good things eventually must end, so maybe the next project will have a more conclusive end at the very end, or a dungeon that isn't 101 floors. You know, if they told me the final dungeon, this extra dungeon, was like 15 floors, probably would have done it, actually. But 101, and you don't even get anything for it? No, I'm sorry. It's like the grudge battles. Like, you get stuff for the grudge battles in the Custom Robo and Arena, you don't really get a whole lot. But in Custom Robo GameCube, you do get parts, and you do get stuff for doing them. But I don't think it's worth in this game, you know, go through those streams and do that. And I think even Custom Robo, I think I showed off exactly what I needed to, and no, and that's it. I probably could have done a better job, I would say, at ending it. So I just kind of went kind of loose, like I did with this game. But you know, that's how we do it here. We keep it chill. We keep it chill. Nothing rigid. Nothing too rigid. This dude is kicking my heck in. And then I show up with that. Let's finish this one. I think the next game will have a lot more Goldie voice acting. There weren't that many cutscenes in this game. I think next game we'll have some more, so we'll have some more Goldie voice acting and some interesting bits of dialogue. From what I hear, at least. I don't know if that's actually the case. Although I have heard that rumor has it that Regon and Dia are brother and sister, and I totally support that. I'm sure their lore probably might confirm it, may or may not confirm it, although that's still speculation in and of itself. I said it from one of the beginning. I think I said it early on when we got them. I'm like, huh, they both have red hair, and they kind of look alike too. And Dia was talking about her brother in one of her memories, so. And they both talk about their, like, you know, their fathers and stuff like that, so I always figured, like, there's something going on here. One uses dual pistols, one uses dual blades. Ow. And right at end.
違いがないか探してみましょう。先を行く者の矜持を見せよう。 しょう。
That might not be the best idea.
行くぞ。
Are they playing openings? Oh, it's a Celsada song. Is that? I think that is the opening.
本物がいる。気をつけて。射撃ならお任せを。
Celsada's a weird game. It had so much potential, but it just did not hit the mark. And I think you'll hear everybody in the entire planet say that. Yep, that's the opening. That is definitely the opening. I know that ending riff anywhere. Admittedly, though, Celsada's gameplay mechanics do work out very well for it. The days and night cycle is really cool. The way they did warping in that game, I think, is actually quite nice, and the general feeling of exploring is still there, and gameplay's mostly good.
ここは引く。
It's just a story where it just all falls apart. It's really just really that. It happens, and then it's over.
終わらせる。
ノリよ、届いて。
Dun, dun, dun. Rank up. I didn't know that was music. I guess it makes sense that that would be his tracking up.
この調子なら大丈夫。先を行く者の矜持を見せた。
Oh yes, that's a good thing. I will admit that I know I talked about satisfaction last time during the review. Yeah, that's satisfying when you just have a big burst of enemies and the skill hits. Yeah, when the skill hits, it hits, and you really enjoy it. Hello? Oh, wrong skill. I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't Constellation. Where am I?
これを使えば別の場所へ行けそう。我が力。あれ震え。
Especially when it just insta kills. That's just when it's amazing.
ノリよ、届いて。魔物がいる。気をつけて。
手を貸す。感謝はいらない。
移ろうよ。
You know, in hindsight, what I probably should have done is I should have played the Oninaki OST from YouTube. That's what we should have listened to. I can switch over actually, even though it really wouldn't match a whole lot. Oninaki OST. I don't think anyone has a playlist. It's just a straight up. It's just a straight up thing. Do you? Do you? Hang on. Do you? Nope. Oh, but I do know this channel actually. Track list soon. Video uploaded 3 years ago. Well, you'll get around to it, buddy. I know. I believe in it. I just music and this music is just something I'm so picky about. Personally picky. I'll never tell someone down for enjoying a piece of music or something like that. I'm not gonna do something like that, but it is, to me, one of the defining moments of a video game is what its soundtrack entails. If it is meant to have one. I think, not every game needs a banging soundtrack or something that works really well for it. But if you have it, you're going to enhance the experience that much more for the player. That's how I feel about it. If you think about Layton and Ace Attorney, right? Like their music enhances so much of the experience. Right? Like you think of Toho and like each stage and each boss being that unique, and it becomes memorable to be in those situations. And of course, if we go back to action RPGs, right, we talk about Kingdom Hearts, we talk about, Devil May Cry, we talk about Falcoms, Ys and stuff like that. And it does matter. It matters how you evoke emotion, because sometimes your dialogue is not going to do it. And in games like this, where your graphics aren't that high fidelity, like Square Enix, where you can have the facial expressions maybe carry things a little, you need that. You need that music to help push these emotions. And I think in the sad moments, this game does it. It actually does do it very well. In the boss moments, it kind of does. I mean, they're good music, but I mean, it's like, oh, I'm left wanting more. I'm a spoiled little child. Oh yes, give it to me. Give me those pianos. Give me those drums. Give me those percussions. Give me those melodies and everything. Why are you, hiding them from me when I know you can do it? Test successful, Chip. How you doing? I definitely want people to leave this playthrough knowing that I think Oninaki is really the way that I genuinely play video games. There's some crazy high-tech moments, but this relaxing feel that we had going for it, because of the way the plot and just general gameplay loop went, that's kind of how I like things to be. And so it is an underrated gem. I would recommend it to people. I actually would recommend it to people. But I would recommend playing the demo. See if it has something that you're looking for. If not, then by all means, go through my archives and watch it at 1.5 times speed to see which, to see it through. So at least you can experience it.
戦いもある。力になりましょう。
I won't bat an eye if you put it at 2 times speed either. I'll tell you that. Are we at 5 now for you, Dia? Let me unlock your lore. Do I know where Demon Lore 4 is? Yuck, no. You can use Healing Incense even while debuffed. Well then, that would have been nice early on. Bam. Even Machina the Planet Tree had a couple of good songs in it. It gave something too. I think Machina was a good protagonist. I think that was his name, right? Machina, yeah. Although apparently they made a sequel that was really bad. Wait, where am I going? Yeah, soundtrack is only like an hour and 43 minutes long, so probably should have done that initially. What's going on? See, it's like that melody was so good. It plays in cutscenes, which is great, but it's like, can I have more, please? Can I be selfish and ask for more? Even Bravely. You look at Bravely. It has very similar situations. Bravely Default 2, I think, really did a good job with it. Except for one. Except for one area. Nothing in that area was good. But after that, it was all great. There's an area where they play 2 tunes with muted. They have a mute on the trumpet, and it doesn't work. It's not good. It does not work that well. But there are other parts of it that work very well. Alright, let's see what this boss is. Also, let's check out some lore.
復讐だ。私は自ら命を絶った。その時私はどんな顔をしていただろう。悲しい顔をしていただろうか。
I don't know if that'd be very easy to tell. I don't know if you could tell if you were in anguish or not.
あの日から私の存在に価値が生まれた。初めこそ弟の死を悼んでいた者たちもやがて私に貸し付くようになっていった。あの日、弟の命と引き換えに私は私を手に入れ、
Who's
皆の
supposedly
理想の
Regan?
当主を演じられるようになった。皆は日々私を賛美した。あの日から弟の幻影に苦しみ続けているこの私を。私の声に動作に弟の気配が混ざり込んでくる。この体に取り付いている弟はいつも怒りと憎しみに満ちていた。
Oh.
私はそれを振り払おうとしてきたが、やがてそれさえも受け入れ生きるようになっていた。そんなある日だった。弟が生きているという情報を耳にした。今のうちに準備しよう。
So your brother was actually alive when you didn't even know it. And yet, despite that, you felt that he was taking over you in a way. Unique! Oh, dude, another skill for Dio is a great miracle. Fire a variable number. I kind of want to get that. Wait, where's Dio number 4? And am I blind? There it is. Wasn't this the final boss fight? I like how I got Izana higher of a rank than Dia. We stopped using Dia like generally as a while. She kind of fell back. Let's see Dia's final memory.
私は素性を隠し、幾度となく弟がいるという町を訪れた。そこはとても危険な町だった。この町で身を潜め、弟は生きてきたのだ。あの日のことがよみがえった。もしも弟に会えたら、私は何を伝えるつもりでいるのだろう。私は私の願いさえわからないまま彼の姿を探し続けた。日の当たらない広場、食べ物を奪い合う子供たち、何もかもが私の環境とは異なっていた。生気を失った無数の瞳が私の
Well,
心を
this isn't a very good song for this.
断罪されているような気分だった。弟もどこかで私を見ているのだろうか。だとしたらどんな思いで。最後に感じたのは激しい痛みだった。私の意識は突然途絶えた。背後に立つ人影、 その手に握られた鈍く光る刃物。腹部が温かい。死ぬことを理解した。私を刺したその人は何を望んで私の命を奪ったのだろう。私の命にどんな意味を持たせてくれたのだろう。弟はあの時私に何を望んでいたのだろう。憎しみでも構わない。今はただ知りたい。ごめんなさい。私は何者にもなれませんでした。ごめんなさい。私はただ私になりたかったのです。
That last line hurts.
私の存在理由が欲しかった。
That line hurts. Those last 3 lines really hurt. Liberator. Oh, yay.
今のうちに準備しよう。
Those last few lines definitely hurt quite a lot. I think a lot of us maybe in reality have felt that way.
次はどこに行くの？
Oh, great.
射撃ならお任せを。哀れだな。祈りをさせ。
Let me put down the music back. That was a bad song for that, but alright, here we go.
遂げることしかできないけど。
I think all of us kind of maybe at some point have felt that they had to be someone that they didn't want to be, and it's like, oh wow, I'm sorry for actually wanting to be myself. I'm sorry for sorry for having these emotions and stuff like that. It's like, well, no, they're all valid. Everything that, you know, you felt and did, I think is valid. It's just, you know, in Dia's life, right? Because of royalty, because of her brother and stuff like that, there was situations in which you couldn't. And well, you know, here we are. I'm glad we got to see Dia at the end there. Yeah, supposedly Regan, I think, kills her. Or, yeah, Regan, I think, kills her or something. And she never got to know what her brother really wanted. And if that's actually the case, then it's like, wow, like, Regan is the reason why she dies, which is kind of cool, if you think about it. But yeah, those 3 lines are definitely, they hurt a lot. And I hope none of you have to ever feel that. Or if you do, you can get past it. 16,000 wing threats. But that is where we're gonna end it. Sorry, Aisha. In the end, overall, I really enjoyed this game. It was a lot of fun. I do not regret playing it. I recommend it to people. Try out the demo. Expect a dark story. Expect some dark themes and, you know, heavier themes. But go in, you know, with open-minded, of course, and go in just expecting just chill, casual adventure. Nothing high octane, pretty low energy, and just low effort, maybe. But maximum just chillax and enjoyment. Turn your brain off and just enjoy the stuff that's going on with Oninaki. But with that, we have reached the end of yet another adventure. And that is exciting, because that means we can start a new one next week, and I'm very excited to start that one as well. And so, as always, first of all, thank you all so much for watching, both on the Twitch, the YouTubes, and or the archives. Every view helps, and I appreciate that you enjoy the content that I create. Secondly, if you like the stuff that I do and you think someone else you know might like the stuff that I do as well, share it with them. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, do what you need to do. Let's grow the channel. We're at 154 here on Twitch, 136 on YouTube. The bigger we get, the better we are. So I would appreciate everything that you can do if you so desire. Thirdly, in the About Me page on underneath in the Twitch channel and in the About Me page on YouTube, there's a feedback form. If you like some of the stuff that I do and want to let me know, you can enter that in the feedback form. And there's something that you think I can improve on, then you can let me know there as well. And I will do my best to accommodate that feedback as to the best of my ability. Trust me, the feedback helps a lot more than you guys think it does. I have not seen much feedback recently, but trust me, it helps a lot. So I would really, really appreciate it. Oh, hi, Green Totos. Unfortunately, we're ending just a little bit here. But thank you for showing up regardless. So yeah, definitely send me some feedback. And I hope to see you guys all next time for the next adventure, which is yet another indie RPG. And one that is very blue and resembles one of the face buttons on a PlayStation controller. Maybe you can figure out from that hint what it exactly is. But as always, thank you all so much again for watching this journey of Oninaki, and I'll catch you guys next time for the brand new adventure. Bye-bye.